Hey guys, we're live. This is Andrew Basia with Life Hacks with Andrew. And yeah, we're live right now. I'm gonna check the sound actually. And also, I'm gonna share on my personal wall. I'm gonna turn off the sound on the desktop just in case anything comes through. Let me double check the sound on YouTube first here. What's up? How's it going? It's a Monday. It was a great day today. Had a really productive day today, man. It was long. I woke up super early. I just couldn't sleep. I had a lot of things that I wanted to do today, and I was very excited to get up and get them done. So it was a really productive day. It's 8 o'clock almost over here, and I'm literally, if I went to bed right now, I could fall asleep. But I'm just checking the sound here on my channel on YouTube. For those of you guys that haven't subscribed on YouTube, I do have a channel, and that's where I'm trying to grow in subscribers. So today we're going to be talking about a really cool speech that I think everybody should listen to at least once in their lives. I'm just going to share here on my personal wall on Facebook. What? That's weird. Wonder why. I wonder why it doesn't show. Let me see again. I'll reload this. Yeah, it's a great speech, and I'm gonna show. I'm gonna talk about how it resonates with me and how maybe it could help you. Just copy pasting here. Sorry, one sec. And then I'll just get started. It was such a good day today. The weather was really great. It did rain a little bit, but I mean, Medellin, pretty much chances of rain are 50-50 every single day. But even when it rains, it's still beautiful here. It's just not, it's not like crazy rain. Sometimes there will be like flash, like, like what would you call that? Tropical storm, but it won't last all day. All right, so welcome to all of you guys that are watching the live. I'm going to be recording this and obviously editing it, and we will be putting them up. Let me double check here the sound on Facebook as well. Just gonna move this over. Just checking the sound. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Checking the sound. Yeah, it sounds all right. One, two, three. Check, check, check. Yeah, I think actually the gain is pretty high. Let me just double check that. 1 2 3. Checking the gain. I do have like a big computer in the back. I think I could lower the gain. Let me do that actually. Because I'm pretty close to the mic, so when you're close to the mic, you don't have to turn the gain up so high. Checking the gain. Oh yeah, it's like super high. Let's double check this. I'll throw it down. 1, 2, 3, checking the gain. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's a big difference. I'll just keep it at 30 just in case. Okay, so I fixed the mic. I think you guys can hear me all right. If you guys are joining the live, my name is Andrew Messia. This is Life Hacks with Andrew. Every day for the next 2 years, I'll be doing a live stream. The platform is Facebook, and I also have a Facebook gaming page because I do like to play video games sometimes, and I'll just do a stream where I play video games. And I also have a YouTube account where I put up all these live streams, and I put up the edited versions of these live streams as well. I just put up the first one today, which got a pretty good reception so far. People seem to like them, and that's good because I like making them. So today I'm just going to be talking about a certain topic, and the title of the topic is Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. And I got that line from Steve Jobs' commencement speech in 2005 to the graduating class of Stanford. It's a great speech, and I highly recommend that you watch that speech or listen to it at least. You don't have to watch him talking, but you can listen to it while you work or maybe when you get ready in the morning. It's such a great speech. I think it's only like 15 minutes long. But it was a great speech, and it still resonates with me to this day. He gave it in 2005, and to this day I still listen to it. I still go back to it, and I still think about it, and I still see how it relates to my life. So let's get started. I'm going to start recording here. Okay. Welcome to Life Hacks with Andrew. It's another live episode, and today we're talking about staying hungry and staying foolish. In 2005, Steve Jobs gave a commencement speech to the graduating class of Stanford University. In his speech, he says, "Sometimes life is going to hit you in the head with a brick, but don't lose faith." In 2005, when those privileged Stanford graduates were taking, in 2005, when those privileged Stanford graduates were ready to take on the world, I was in a similar situation. That was the year I got out of prison. One can say I was graduating from my stint in prison. My time locked up was the catalyst for my success, though. I feel like I've lived a couple of lifetimes in the last 17 years. As I listened to Steve Jobs' speech for the 100th time today, I realized that I can relate to so much of his life that he talks about in the speech. Today, I'm going to go over how his speech relates to my life and how I continue to stay hungry and stay foolish. Today, I'm going to go over how his speech relates to my life and how I continue to stay hungry and stay foolish. For those of you guys joining the live, I record these episodes live because I like to interact with people. If you haven't followed the channel on Instagram, on Facebook, or on YouTube, just look up Andrew Messia. It's me. It's my personal channels. I have a personal Facebook page, and I also have a gaming page, and I have a YouTube page and an Instagram page. So follow there. So sometimes I'll repeat stuff just because I didn't say it well and I want the editor to be able to pull it out for the recording. So let's go to the first slide. The first slide is called Connect the Dots. In his speech, Steve Jobs talks about being adopted when he was a kid, when he was a baby. Although I wasn't adopted, I was an illegal immigrant. In 1985, when I was 4 years old, my parents were desperately seeking for a better life, running away from the internal conflict that has since then displaced millions of Colombians and continues to do so. They decided to enter the United States illegally. My parents were both 25. I was 4. My sister was 2 years old. My sister and I were both drugged and put in the back of a stranger's car in Tijuana that they had paid to cross us over the border. My parents then made the long 2-day walk across the desert. Steve Jobs talks about his adoption as being the beginning of his life. For us, the crossing over of the border in 1985 was the beginning of our new life. Steve Jobs also talks about how he dropped out of college. He did so because he worried that all of his parents' hard-earned money was going towards his university tuition, which he really wasn't even sure about at the time. I can really relate to that because I barely graduated high school in 1999. By then, I was already smoking marijuana and drinking alcohol and dabbling with stronger drugs. I enrolled into a community college and started to sell drugs to the students there. I dropped out after a semester, of course. Steve Jobs tells us that dropping out of school allowed him to take on courses that weren't prerequisites for his major, like a calligraphy class. He loved that calligraphy class. And 10 years later, when he was creating the first Mac, his knowledge of calligraphy helped shape the famous typefaces of the Mac. Like Steve Jobs, dropping out of school meant I could pursue things that were fun to me. I joined a rock band. I got into meth. I got arrested and finally went to jail. I didn't really enjoy that part, but it was part of my journey. While I was in jail, I joined Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and even though I wasn't an alcoholic or an addict, I loved going to those meetings to learn about the 12 steps, hearing people's stories, and sharing my own story. 11 years later, I was hired by a drug and alcohol rehab facility as a freelance digital marketer. Because I knew so much about the recovery process and the 12-step process, I was able to succeed and help that business grow. Today, our business is a 7-digit digital marketing company that caters to drug and alcohol rehab centers across the United States. When I was in that jail cell, when I was 22 years old, it was impossible for me to connect the dots looking forward. But it's very, very clear looking backwards now. Steve Jobs says you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. You have to trust in something, your gut, instinct, life, karma, or whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it's made all the difference in my life. And again, when I was 22 years old, stuck in a jail cell, I didn't know that going to AA meetings, NA meetings, and continuing to do so after getting out of jail, that it would be a huge stepping stone in my digital marketing career and in the formation of our digital marketing agency, which now only caters to drug and alcohol rehab centers in the United States. Let's go to slide number 2. In Steve Jobs' 2005 commencement speech to the graduates or the graduating class of Stanford, Steve Jobs tells us about how he was pushed out of Apple when he was 30. He was the founder, yet he was kicked out of Apple by the CEO. Of course, he was crushed. But then a funny thing started to happen. He felt the pressure of running this behemoth of a company called Apple lifted from his shoulders. This freed up his time and his creativity to lead him to start a new company, something that he was very passionate and maybe you've heard of it. He started Pixar, along with its premier smash hit Toy Story. He also founded another company called Next, a competitor to Apple. And after some time, Apple bought Next and hired Steve back as the CEO. That to me was incredible. And looking back at my life, like Steve, when I was 29, so this happened to him when he was 30. He was kicked out of Apple. Like Steve, when I was 29, I was kicked out of the United States, a country I had a deep love for, and I still do. I came back to Colombia in 2009 with only a $2,000 credit card, not prepared for anything going forward. Of course, I was crushed. But then a funny thing happened. The weight of being brown, the weight of being a felon was lifted off my shoulders. I was just like everybody else here in Colombia. At even better, I had no criminal record. In his speech, Steve Jobs says that life will hit you in the head with a brick sometimes, but you must keep doing what you love because that will pave the path to a bright future. Since work will acquire a large part of our life, it's essential to find what we love. So not only did I come to Colombia in 2009 with only a $2,000 credit card, but without a career, without education, without knowing anybody here that could help me pursue a life goal or a life dream, I was reborn and I had restarted. But I knew that I needed to find something that I loved to do. And that became digital marketing at the time in 2009, which brings me to the last slide. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Stay hungry, stay foolish. In his speech, Steve Jobs talks about his battle with cancer. Of course, we all know that ultimately cancer overtook him. But back then, in 2005, he had already beat cancer once in his life. He talks about his close encounter with death and how it changed his perspective. For the 30 years after beating cancer in his life, he would ask himself, every time he looked at himself in the mirror, he would say, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm doing today? If today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? And whenever the answer was no for too many days in a row, he knew he had to make a change. How does that resonate with me? Well, it resonates today in my life. I'm 41 years old today, and I ask myself in the mirror, if I were to die tomorrow, would I be happy doing what I'm doing today? Sure, I could easily conform to my life of running a digital marketing agency and continue to live a pretty comfortable life. I like what I do right now. I love the fact that we help people find treatment for their addictions. We've probably helped save hundreds of lives and impacted thousands of people, family members, friends, co-workers, etc., of these addicts that we've helped throughout the years. But is it something that I want to be doing for the next 10 years? Is it something that I want to continue doing for the rest of my life? The answer is no. If I were to die tomorrow, would I want to be remembered for that? The answer is no. So of course I need to make a change. That's what Steve Jobs says, and that's what my gut tells me. In his speech, Steve Jobs mentions that our time on this planet is limited. So we need to stop wasting it by living someone else's life. Stop believing in others' opinions because it annihilates our mental confidence. The most important thing in life is to follow our hearts and our intuition. That's why I've started this YouTube channel. That's why I've started our nonprofit organization called Help Colombia. Those are the things that I'm deeply passionate about, so I'm pursuing them with ferocity. Steve Jobs says, remember that you're going to die. Remembering that you're going to die is the best way to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You're already naked. There's no reason to not follow your heart. Steve Jobs talks about a magazine. And finally, before I end the stream, Steve Jobs talks about a magazine that was popular in the late 60s when he was just 22, 23 years old, called the Whole Earth Catalog. It was really popular with young kids in the 60s. He said that on the back cover of the final issue of the Whole Earth Catalog, there was a photograph of an early morning country road, the kind that you might find yourself hitchhiking if you were so adventurous to do so. Beneath it were the words, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." Pursuing your goals, your happiness, your dreams may seem foolish to some people, but if it were not for foolish people fighting for what they believe in, we would not have amazing things such as the light bulb, the automobile, space exploration, and of course, Apple products. So I say to you, like I say to myself, stay hungry, stay foolish. Let Steve Jobs be an example to you. Let me be an example to you. You don't have to be a college graduate. You will fail, and you will do so often. But if you have faith and you trust in your journey, you'll get where you need to be. So thank you guys for joining. I'm live on Facebook, on YouTube. This is Life Hacks with Andrew. Today, I talked about Steve Jobs' commencement speech in 2005 to the graduating class of Stanford. It's a speech that I've heard probably over 100 times. And today I sat down and analyzed it to see how it resonates with my life. And I basically had an awakening with what he said at the end of his speech, meaning that our time on earth is limited, so we can't live our life in someone else's perception of what our life should be. Whether it's society, whether it's our parents, whether it's your career. If you're not happy doing what you're doing, then maybe it's time to make a change. And we're not talking about making a drastic change. It's not like I'm going to quit digital marketing, because I do love what I do there. But I'm adding this, what I'm doing right now, to my life, and I've committed to doing a stream every single day for the next 2 years, because it's something that I want to be remembered for. And if I were to die tomorrow, I would be very, very happy to know that this was the last thing I did. So I want to encourage you to pursue your dream, to pursue your goals. And if you don't have a dream, sometimes we don't even know what the fuck we want to do in life. I've been there, and I know many people that are my age and even older that they're still trying to figure shit out. I'm still trying to figure shit out. I don't know where this channel is going to go. I don't know if anybody's going to like these videos. But at the end of the day, like Steve said, if I were to die tomorrow, would I be pleased with what I'm about to do today? Absolutely. I love what I'm doing, and I love being able to share this with you. And I hope that you guys get something out of it. And I hope that you pursue your dreams and hopefully help someone else to pursue their dreams, their goals, get through the day, whatever it is that needs to be done that day. I hope that it helps you push forward. So thanks for joining Life Hacks with Andrew. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, I'm going to stop recording. I thought that was pretty damn good. Okay, so I stopped recording. For those of you guys that are joining the live, I record these videos live, and then I send them over to, I send the whole live basically to my editor, and I'm like, all right, just, edit out the important part. He did the first one, and the first one is up on my YouTube page and on my Facebook page, or YouTube channel, and it got a pretty good reception. I've gotten like about 100 views now, and it's only been just one day. And granted that I only have like 160 subscribers, so I wasn't expecting so many people to actually view it, but it was pretty good. It was 3 ways to make a fortune, or 3 ways to make a fortune. Yeah, that was the video that was put up today. And then this one will be edited and put up sometime next week, because I'm behind on putting up videos because the editing process takes a little bit of time. But yeah, it's super fun. I love doing this, and it basically, I'm sacrificing my next 2 years of basically my social life, my traveling. I do like to travel, and I would love to travel to Europe. I would love to go to Asia. I would love to go to Africa, even New Zealand, Australia. I'd love to go visit all those places, but it's not time yet. I feel it in my gut and my heart that it's not time yet, that I need to do this for 2 years, because if I do this now, I'll be able to travel those places and share them with you, hopefully with a very large audience in 2 years. And that's what I really, really want to do. And that's what I'm passionate about right now. So I'm taking you on this journey with me. For those of you guys that are just joining and just following and just finding my channel now, welcome to Life Hacks with Andrew. Every single day I'm streaming a different life hack or streaming myself playing video games. Today I talked about Steve Jobs' commencement speech of 2005 to the graduating class of Stanford. In 2005, I was graduating from prison. And it's funny, but it's not at the same time. Obviously, it was a terrible time, but looking back at it now, the things that happened in the last 17 years have been a culmination, and there's been so many dots to be connected that I can connect now that back then I would have never thought that this was going to happen. So when things like this happen to me in my life, for example, like this gut feeling that I need to do and create this channel, and I need to do this stream for the next 2 years, it's a gut feeling. There's some research involved. I've researched YouTubers and stuff, but no one ever said you need to do 2 years of streaming and putting up videos. No one's ever said that to me, but it's something that I have in my brain and in my heart that tells me that I need to do it because something great is going to come of it. I don't know if that means that I'm going to get 1 million subscribers. Obviously, that would be amazing. But at the end of the day, like Steve Jobs says in his commencement speech, is, am I happy with what I'm about to do with my life today? If I were to die tomorrow, would I be okay with what I'm about to do today? And the answer is yes now. Because before I started this stream, literally 3 weeks ago, I would ask myself that question and I would feel unfulfilled. I would feel like, yeah, I love getting up and working on my digital marketing company to help these drug and alcohol rehab centers get more clients and help more people. But is it something that I want to be known for at the end of my life? If I were to die tomorrow, would I be happy that I had done that? Yes, I would have been happy, but it wouldn't have been like, yes, this was my calling. Not like now. Now I feel like this is something that I can do for the next 11 years of my life, the next 20 years of my life, until I move on to the next project that I'm passionate about. Yes, I'm sure I could do that, and I'm sure that I'll love doing this. Am I sure that I can do digital marketing for the next 11 years? Absolutely not. And I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it for the next 11 years of my life. But if I could do this channel and create something of it, then I will be happy with what I did with my life. So I think that's the message that I want to transmit to people, is that sometimes you get a gut feeling about things. Sometimes you feel like you need to make a change. And sometimes you have to listen to that gut feeling. It doesn't mean that you have to act drastically and change your career immediately or change your business immediately, but It could mean that you have to sacrifice free time. That it could mean that you have to sacrifice hanging out with friends. It means that you may have to sacrifice watching the important game with your friends at the bar. It may mean that you need to sacrifice a couple of years of your life working extra hours on this new change that you want to make. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I invite you guys to follow me on that journey that I'm documenting on Facebook and on YouTube. And I hope that it actually helps you change your life, or helps you even just get through the day. To know that if someone like me with zero education, a convicted felon, no business background whatsoever, could actually make something and do something great in their life, then of course you can too, because I've hit rock bottom and I was able to climb my way out of the hole that I dug myself into. And I keep staying hungry and I keep staying foolish, because and I know that line foolish could be kind of pessimistic in a way, or maybe even a little derogatory, degrading, I should say, not derogatory, but degrading, right? Stay hungry, stay foolish. But what I mean about foolish is to continue having fun, to continue doing things as if you were a kid. That's why I freaking play video games and I'm making this stream, because some people would look at it and say, you're fucking 41 years old. You have a digital marketing agency. You should, and you have real estate properties. You have a nonprofit organization. You should focus on those things and make them grow and become a multimillionaire. But I'm foolish. I've always been foolish. That's what got me into jail. That's what got me to Colombia with no money. That's what's gotten me to where I am right now. So I'm going to continue to be foolish, and I'm going to continue to create new adventures for myself and create new, how should I say, create new challenges for myself. And this is one of them. So thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. It was really fun for me to do it and for me to make it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a great night. Please make sure to like and follow.